I did it my way. Regrets.
So, welcome back. This is the Jersey Boys MMA podcast. Tonight it's going to be a solo pod. My name is Steve Ricciardi. I'm going to be covering the UFC Fight Pass early prelims. I got my notes in front of me. What I'm really looking to do, we're looking to try some different things, see how the pod works with different members. So tonight I'm going to do the solo pod for the first four fights of the night. So what I'm going to look to do that you guys can get a good look at this. Hopefully you're watching on YouTube and you can really see this. I'm going to screen share so that you can see exactly what I'm looking at. And I don't need to do that. I need to do this. So you can see the first fight that I'm going to be talking about. All right. So now that we're set up here, let's get right into it. So let's talk about Markus Perez and James Bochnovic. And for the most part, this looks like a very one-sided affair. I did my tape study on these two guys. Not much to see, all right? In terms of Bochnovic, he got basically knocked out in the second round by Trevin Giles. He looked overmatched. He was the bigger fighter, and he would definitely, height-wise, be the bigger fighter here. He's got, as you can see there, he's got Markus Perez by about 3 inches. He looked at just about as big, that same difference in height versus Giles. But he doesn't really keep distance. He doesn't really use that reach. He struggles. He struggles at times, and he doesn't look overly strong for this weight class. For 185, he kind of looks. He kind of has like a dad bod at 185, and that's just not good. Now, Markus Perez, on the other hand, I was only able to watch the fight against Anders. He lost to Anders by decision. And basically Anders went from that fight beating Markus Perez by decision into a main event against Machida. So he really catapulted off that win. I don't think it was a great win. Markus Perez is very crafty. He's good in a lot of different areas. I don't think he's great at anything. At least, again, against Anders, he didn't look great at anything. I think he really respected Anders' strength, athleticism, and just overall power in that left hand in that fight. So what did Perez do? He switched stances a lot of high kicks, which, again, if he can get up to Bochnovic, I think he can really use those high kicks to get a knockout. He'll try a judo throw. He's active in the clinch, active knees in the clinch. He'll go for takedowns. He'll throw some submission attempts at you, spinning back fists, kind of unorthodox footwork. But he's an exciting Brazilian fighter, and this fight is in Brazil. He's well-rounded enough, throws the elbows. The only question I had when I watched that video against Anders was he invested in winning, or was he just invested in the show? And it looked like that first fight against Anders, it was just about the show. Now this fight, coming off a loss in Brazil, in his home country, again, he's 9-1. That was his only loss. I'm gonna assume that Markus Perez is gonna come out here and really take it to Bochnovic. On DraftKings, which again, I'm an avid DraftKings player, he's 9.2K. I think the price is fine for cash. I'm concerned a little bit, even if he gets the finish, what is it going to look like if it's not in the first round? And again, with the way that he fights, he doesn't really just get after it right away. He kind of, took his time getting into the Anders fight. Again, that's a completely different fight, so maybe his game plan is going to be different. He's going to really get after Bochnovic, early. But if he does, he has a chance of paying off that price with a knockout or a sub. My official pick here is going to be Markus Perez by TKO, and I think he'll get that in the second round. Okay, I think he'll knock Bochnovic down. I think he'll get a knockdown and then or a takedown, and I think he'll be able to get him out of there with some ground and pound. I would not play Bochnovic at all. Maybe as a fade. A fade play in cash, or you could try to throw him in some GPP lineups, but very, very low percentage. I personally won't be playing him. So, I usually play 5 or 6 different lineups. I'm not playing Bochnovic at all. All right, let me get everybody to the next fight on the card. We'll go right here to Mina and Emeev. Now, this fight is difficult to break down. I've watched both of these guys on tape. I like them both on tape. The problem is Ramazan Emeev has never fought at 170 before, at least that I could find. He has a big weight cut in front of him, and this is going to be the first time he's fighting at 170. The one fight that I have, he beat Sam Alvey. That was the fight that I was able to watch, but he beat him at 185. Now, at 185, Sam Alvey actually came in at like 189. He didn't make weight. I think Alvey came in on short notice. So Emeev came in, and he looked like he had another 5 pounds that he could have lost there. He looks like he put on a little bit of weight, making that 185 cut. I just want to see what he looks like at 170. So I think weigh-ins are very important. But if everything goes well and they both weigh in at 170, my pick to win this is going to be Emeev. He's a combat sambo guy. He really likes to finish on the ground and get you down and get on top of you. Another guy from Dagestan, Russia. You can kind of, he's kind of a poor man's Khabib. Obviously no one's Khabib, but he's kind of a poor man's Khabib. Very similar style. And like I said, he beat Alvey, and Alvey has that left hand knockout punch that he's used early and often. So I think that, this guy is tough. He's going to be able to take a shot. I don't see Mina finishing him. Again, Mina does kind of explode. He is in Brazil, and he is undefeated as far as we all know. But by the same token, what kind of a fight? What is he going to bring to a guy as big and strong as Emeev? I would even go and say if Emeev doesn't make weight, and this is going to be a tough weight cut for him. So if he doesn't make weight, I would even say it's even more reason to put money on Emeev. Take him in DraftKings. He's got an 8.7K price, and he's minus 200. So I have no problem putting a bet on him, using him in parlays, and I'm obviously picking Emeev to win this fight. But I am concerned about the weight cut. So I would almost rather him be a pound or two over the 170. I guess it would be the 171 number that he has to hit. So if he's at 171 or 172, something like that, I would even say even more reason to take Emeev because that weight cut's going to be tough for him. But I don't think Mina's going to be able to take him down. I think Emeev is tough. I think Mina's going to try a lot of different things. He's going to try. He likes to explode into some big shots, 3-4 punch combinations. He likes to throw his hands, but I just don't see it happening here. I think it's a bad matchup for Mina. Again, styles make fights, and this just doesn't seem like a very good stylistic matchup for Alberto Mina. So I'm going to go Ramazan Emeev. My official pick, I'm gonna go by decision. All right, I think he's tough enough to stay in there. I don't think Mina really has a path to victory here, other than maybe a Brazilian decision. But I think Emeev's gonna get the best of him. All right, next fight on the early prelims, and again, there's 4 fights here. We will have other pods coming up over the next day or two, with the the middle 4 fights, and then the main card, the pay-per-view portion of this show. So let's get to this next fight now. In this next fight, we have Jack Hermansson and Thales Leites. And this, again, is a very, very difficult fight for me. I think it's really more of a toss-up fight. The odds have kind of... Let me see what they have as the odds here, because I have Hermansson minus 155, but let's see what UFC has right here now that we're talking about. If we can check this out. So they have Hermansson minus 149. Yeah, I had him at minus 155. And I do like Hermansson. I think Hermansson is going to be able to get the better of Leites. Leites he's very, how should I say? He really pushes a high speed early. So he's very creative early, and then he seems to slow down, by the middle of that second round. So he'll go for that, a single leg takedown. He does have a talented ground game. He uses his kicks well. He has his Brazilian BJJ. High speed, tries to come after you early. but I think he really needs to win on the ground, and I think he needs to win on the ground early. So again, if he can catch Jack in the first round, maybe get him to the ground, throw a submission on him, I think he's got a shot. If not, I think Jack's going to be able to piece him up and probably get him out of there by the second round. So I'm thinking Jack Hermansson's second round knockout. Again, Jack is coming off a loss here, and for the most part, I think that he's had some really good wins and he's had some really bad losses, and some of the losses have really hurt him, and I think that's why he finds himself in this position. You know, fighting a Brazilian, with a ton of fights under his belt in Brazil, it's no easy task. But I think he's going to be able to, if he can, the thing about Jack is he's got a lot of early movement. He's very active on the feet, really moves well. And I think that's going to be tough for Leites to really time those takedowns and get that takedown early. So if that's the case, and Jack's able to get Leites, real tired early, I think that he'll be able to clean him up in the second round, maybe into the third round if he can't get him out of there in the second round. My official pick is going to be Jack Hermansson by KO in the second round, and I think at that price, 8.3K and minus 155 is what I have the odds at right now. I think it's a great price, and I think it's a great number if you wanted to put a bet or even throw a parlay in there. Now, Leites is, in my opinion, I think he can get Jack out of there in the first round if he's able to get him down on the ground and submit him. And again, I would think that if he's a Brazilian guy fighting in Brazil, obviously, I think he's going to try to show off his ground game and show off his BJJ. So I would say that as a GPP flyer, throw him into some lineups if you're playing multiple lineups in GPP on DraftKings, and you can really throw some money at Leites' way. Same thing with Alberto Mina. If you want to put some of Mina in GPPs, I wouldn't say he's a cash game pick. Although again, if you don't like how Emeev looks on the scales at the weigh-ins, then I could definitely see you putting some money in Alberto Mina from that last fight. But if Emeev looks good, and I think he's the better fighter. All right, so our last fight here on the prelims is a great opportunity to make some money here, because I think Warlley Alves is just a better fighter here. Aliev hasn't fought since 2016, so it's been a while since he's been in there. Right now he's plus 200. He can get the takedowns. He's from Russia. He has the wrestling pedigree. He doesn't get taken down much on his own, but I think that Alves is so well-rounded that he knows he's going to be able to beat him on the feet, and that's really where he needs to keep this fight. So I really think that Alves is going to be able to kind of, pick him apart on the feet, maybe at some point, in the second round, get a takedown. And again, you're talking about a guy in Alves who beat Colby Covington. He lost to Usman. I believe that fight was by decision. I did watch it on tape, and I believe it went to decision. So you're talking to a guy in Alves who's home in Brazil, a good fighter. The only issue with him is his two submission victories. They didn't score very well on DraftKings. So if you're looking to play him on DraftKings, I think he can get that submission victory. And I think I'm calling that's my prediction for Pick'em. I'm going to go with Warlley Alves by submission win here. But I'm just concerned that he may not pay off that price even with a submission in the second round, just based on the the striking. And I don't think Aliev is really going to push the pace much. So I think it's going to be a slow-paced fight. But again, we don't know what we're going to see from Aliev. He hasn't been in the ring in 2 years. So that's what I'm looking at here. I'm going to go Markus Perez. My official pick is by TKO. I'm going to go Ramazan Emeev. My official pick is a decision win there. I'm going to go Jack Hermansson by KO. Again, I'm picking all four favorites here. And Warlley Alves, I'm going to go by second round submission. I would take a look at if Emeev on the scales. If he doesn't look great on the scales, I would definitely throw Mina in a couple lineups if you're playing multiple lineups and GPPs. See what the finish props are. But I think Mina is a possibility, maybe by submission early if you really like him. So you can actually maybe throw a quarter unit on that. Leites the same thing. I think maybe if you want to do a little prop bet on Leites, you can go by submission, or you can even do something like a first round finish. Because I think if he's going to get the win, Leites is going to have to get that win in the first round. And Alves, I think he can finish in the first or the second round. I really think he's going to get a second round finish over Aliev. I just don't know what we're going to see from him. All right. Again, check back in. This is the Jersey Boys podcast. I guess I'm the only Jersey boy here today, and we will have some other pods later in the week to get you all kept up with UFC 224.